Hi, this is Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com, right back here on WagerTalk TV with your, nope, not your NFL Fade the Public. It's college basketball time. This is the first weekend since August in which we don't have a meaningful college or pro football game. I know we got the Senior Bowl and the Pro Bowl. Those aren't meaningful. Super Bowl's next week. We will, by the way, have your NFL Fade the Public video for the Super Bowl 56 next week. But it is college basketball time. I'm going to give you a preview of the four biggest college basketball games this weekend. The four top 25 matchups. They all take place on Saturday afternoon as we head into the early evening. Going to look at the opening line for all four games as they popped on Friday night. Right as I'm doing this video, the lines just popped at one of the major offshore sites. We've seen some movement already, and this is early sharp money, so you want to pay attention. We'll see where the lines settle. I'm going to give you that information. More importantly, I'm going to let you know the matchups and where the edges might be for these four big games on Saturday college basketball right here on Wager Talk TV. Quick reminder, if you want college basketball, now is the time to be playing. We're in the heart of the conference season. We're about a month away from the NCAA tournament, about a month and a half to be exact. This is the most profitable time of the year to be a college basketball capper, and nobody has been more profitable the last 2 years since I've joined WagerTalk.com. I've won the most units in college basketball of any capper the past 2 years combined, and I've got a big card this Saturday and Sunday in both college and pro basketball, and now you don't have to decide. Buy one, get the other for free. That's right. It's a 2-for-1 basketball special. You buy one, you get the other for free. Doesn't matter if you choose NBA or college because it's half price. Normally it's $358 for a month, 30 days of college and pro basketball. Not with this promo code. You get them both for half price. BB179. That's BB179 because you're getting a month of basketball, college and pro for just $179. That's a 50% discount, but you must have that promo code BB179. Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com. Look at the four biggest games this weekend in college basketball, the four top 25 head-to-head matchups. We'll go down in start time order. First game, you don't have to wait long, noon Eastern Saturday on Fox. We're going to look at a matchup between Connecticut and Villanova. Both teams coming in off straight-up losses as a favorite earlier this week. Villanova lost on Wednesday, and meanwhile, Connecticut lost on Tuesday as a 10-point home favorite at Creighton. Villanova lost on Wednesday night as a 4.5-point road favorite at Marquette, and that was a revenge game for Villanova after losing as a 14-point home favorite. In fact, that's the only time in the past month since late December that Villanova has lost. They've gone a perfect 9-0 straight up and 7-2 against the spread during that run, but 0-2 against Marquette. Now, Connecticut plays at a fairly slow pace. Villanova plays about as slow as anybody in the country. So the Wildcats will definitely look to slow this one down. And as of Friday night, the opening line offshore was 5.5. The money quickly came in on Villanova, pushed it from 5.5 to -6. And we also saw some movement on that under as expected. Once again, if the line rises on Villanova, it makes sense that the total would drop, right? Because they play at one of the slowest half-court paces in the country. Total opened 130.5 quickly within a few minutes, went to 130. So once again, Villanova went from 5.5 to 6. Total went from 130.5 to 130. So a little bit of love for Villanova to slow this game down on Saturday afternoon. Matchup-wise also does favor Villanova in one regard. They are lights out shooting three-pointers. At home this season, they're 11 for 24 on average. That's 44%. That's about as good as it gets. I mean, anything in the high 30s is good. Villanova's hitting 44% of their threes this year at home, and they take 24 of them, which is well above average, especially consider they play so slow, only 54 shot attempts total per game. Connecticut, a good defense statistically, 38.5%, but they're actually slightly below average from three-point D. So Connecticut, one of the best interior defenses in the country, but they're vulnerable from three-point range. So I think that's one of the reasons we've seen the money coming on Villanova early on Friday night. That game goes at 12 noon Eastern on Fox. Next game goes at 2 o'clock Eastern Saturday afternoon. It's a top 25 matchup between Iowa State and Texas. But you better have the Longhorn Network to watch this one. It's not on a nationally televised channel. Longhorn Network gets a good one here with Iowa State, maybe a little bit of a false top 25 team. I mean, if you look at the future odds, they're 125 to 1. By the way, Villanova 22 to 1, Connecticut 66 to 1 to win the title right now. Iowa State 125 to 1, Texas 50 to 1. Both teams at 16 and 6. But Texas is the better team overall. The misleading straight up records there. And the odds show that they opened as a 7-point favorite Friday night. Not much movement on the side so far. We saw the total, though, open 119, and that quickly, within a few minutes, got bet up to 121. So the early sharp money felt that opening total was too low. Once again, went from 119 quickly up to 121.5. We will see where it settles on Saturday. And keep in mind, I'm doing this video Friday, moments after the first lines around the world came out on Friday evening. They will move a bit into Saturday, so keep an eye on these movements. Hopefully you find this information useful, at least knowing when the early sharp money came in. Speaking of slow down half-court style, we talked about Villanova. Villanova plays the third slowest style of any team out of 358 Division I teams. Texas isn't far behind. They're the 11th slow 358. Very good defensive team. Iowa State also an excellent defensive team. They also are comfortable, kind of like Connecticut in that last game in a slow style. So first two games Saturday, very similar. We've got slow down teams both sides, but the home team extremely slow, snail-like, if you will. So I think Texas will probably dictate the tempo. That's why we see them as a 7-point favorite. A little surprised by that overmove, though. This is something I've noticed over the past few weeks. Whenever these totals are in the teens, these low totals, they just seem to, by default, get bet up quickly by the early money. 119 up to 121.5, as I mentioned. Iowa State, the 6th most efficient defense in the country. Texas, the 12th most efficient. So hard to make a case for the over other than it just being a very low number. Under would still be the only way I would play it. We'll see if that line continues to rise. If it does, you might find some value with the under between Iowa State and Texas. 2 o'clock Eastern, Saturday afternoon. 2 more games for late Saturday afternoon into the early evening card. Going to look at those, including the biggest matchup of the week here in just a moment, Baylor and Kansas. But first, I want to remind you, now is the time to be a basketball client. Not only am I #1 combined the last 2 years for most money won in college hoops at WagerTalk.com, but we're in the heart of the college basketball conference season. This is where we have 2 to 3 months of data. We're getting revenge spots, head-to-head matchups. Common opponents are huge in conference play. I love handicapping college hoops right now. Get my #1 ranked college basketball for 30 days, and you're getting my NBA as well for free. Both have been very profitable this season. Hey, if you want college, you get pro for free. If you want pro, you get college for free. You don't have to decide. It's a 2-for-1 half-price special. Normally, it's $358 for a month of basketball. Not with this promo code. You get them for both for half price. $179 gets you both college and pro, but you've got to have promo code BB179. BB, like basketball, 179. BB, 179. Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com. All right, let's look at the biggest game this week in college basketball, and I say that because these are all top 25 matchups. Some of these teams like UConn, Iowa State, I think are a little bit of phony top 25s. Not Baylor and Kansas. These are 2 of the odds-on favorite. They're both top 8 to be national champs. In fact, if you're looking at the future odds right now, they're both kind of penciled in as 2 seeds in the NCAA tournament. Baylor at 12-1. Kansas not far behind at 14-1 to win the title. Baylor 19-3 straight up. Kansas 18-3 straight up. Yet the odds makers are saying Baylor's the better overall team because they're made a very short price here. Open Kansas as a 3-point favorite, and the early money said Baylor's better. It's down to 1.5 quickly. So once again, this was a pretty big move within moments on Friday night when the line opened. Kansas quickly went from -3 down to -1.5 as a small home favorite on a very strong home court. I mean, Kansas 10-1 at home this year, but keep in mind Baylor 8-1 on road and neutral site games. They've been one of the better road teams in the nation for several years. As far as the total in this one, teeny bit of movement to the under. 147.5 got bet down to 147. So not much movement on the total, but once again, 3 down to 1.5. Some substantial quick movement on Baylor on Friday night. 2 teams that Kansas likes to play fast. All right, so if Baylor is able to slow this one down, that would be their advantage. But what's interesting about Baylor, the last 4 to 5 years, they've played much slower than they do this season. This is the fastest pace that Baylor has played in recent years. 5 years ago, they were one of the 10 slowest teams in the nation at one point. Now they're middle of the pack. They're in the 160 range, actually in the upper half of pace. Still nothing close to Kansas, though. Kansas plays at the 92nd fastest tempo in Division I. Very good offenses both ways here. Baylor and Kansas, both top 5 efficiency offenses. Baylor a top 20 defense. Kansas not even a top 40 defense. So I do think the defensive edge might be the difference in this one, and that is why we saw that quick early money move towards Baylor, dropping them from -3 down to 1.5 on Friday night. That game, by the way, at 4 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. All right, one more big game to talk about here, and this is definitely one of the best teams in the nation. In fact, of all the teams we've talked about in the video here for Saturday, I think this is the best team, and that's the Arizona Wildcats, 18-2 straight up, coming off a huge revenge win against UCLA on this past week on Thursday, actually Tuesday, rather. I'm sorry, Thursday. It was Thursday because I was on college basketball tip-off Tuesday and Thursday. I used them as my free best bet for that show, and I was trying to remember which night. It was this past Thursday. Arizona got it done. It was a huge revenge spot for them after they had just lost to UCLA 2 games back. Lackluster showing the next game against Arizona State. They shot 31 and 32%, bounced back with a solid 48% shooting against UCLA. So the question is, can they regroup here and play hard again in just one day's rest against a good USC team? Now, once again, talking about future odds, USC might be 19 and 3 straight up, but they're just 66 to 1 to win the title. Arizona 18 to 2 is 11 to 1. They're slated as a number 1, maybe barely a number 2 seed right now in the NCAA tournament. Opening line on this one also reflects how much better Arizona is. Line opened in this one 11, and the total opened 145. Quickly got bet up to 146. So we did see some quick movement as far as the over-under on this game. On the over, moved a point and a half, 145 up to 146. Not a surprise, as Arizona plays at one of the fastest paces in the entire nation. So if they're able to dictate their tempo at home, they should get some points in this one, and that's what the early money is saying. As far as USC, yes, they're 19 and 3, yet they're a double-digit dog in this game. You look at their 3 losses this season. They lost a few games back against Stanford as a home favorite by 11. Not a good loss there. Lost against Oregon as a 6-point home favorite, and they also lost at Stanford as a 6.5-point road favorite. In fact, they've been favored in every game in conference play, and they've been favored in every game going all the way back to early in the season. So this is a huge step up in class for the Trojans. The only question becomes not if Arizona's going to win, it's do they win by more than 11. That's a pretty big number, and it is a potential flat spot once again after a huge revenge win just 2 days ago against UCLA. So I think that's one of the reasons we haven't seen much movement on the side, but we did see some early money come to the over here. And once again, talking about how fast Arizona plays, second to third fastest pace out of all 358 teams, yet they're still the 5th best defensive team in the country. They're really balanced. I think they're as good as anybody right now. And at 11 to 1, I think there's actually some value there, even at that short price. Meanwhile, USC, pretty good offense and defense, top 40, both balanced attack, but nowhere near the level of Arizona. So if the Wildcats come focused, they should be able to name their score here. But that's a big if, because that was a huge game against UCLA on Thursday night, a big revenge win. Once again, that game, by the way, is at 5 o'clock Eastern on Fox Saturday afternoon. Those are the 4 biggest games this week in college basketball. All 4 are major top 25 matchups on national TV. Hope you found this video useful. Give me some comments below. Let me know your thoughts on this Saturday and Sunday's college basketball card. Throw some NBA in there as well, because I do both college and pro hoops as well. And don't forget that 2-for-1 special gets you both college and pro hoops for half price. BB179. BB179. 30 days college and pro basketball for half price. You get both college and pro. It's a 2-for-1 special. Nobody has won more money the past 2 years since I joined WagerTalk.com in college hoops. Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com. Thanks for watching again. I'll be back next weekend with your Super Bowl 56 Fade the Public preview. Don't forget to give this a thumbs up, a like, subscribe, hit the subscribe button, and hit that bell if you want instant alerts when these new videos, this College Top 25 videos ready every week, when that Super Bowl video is posted as well. And speaking of the Super Bowl, I do have a strong 5% best bet on my page right now for Super Bowl 56. I know we're talking basketball this weekend, but if you want that football play, it's ready right now. A strong 5% best bet for the Super Bowl. And don't forget a powerful lineup both Saturday and Sunday in college and pro basketball as well. Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com. Use that promo code BB179 for 30 days, half price. Hey, give me some comments below. Let me know who you like this weekend. Let me know your thoughts on the national championship. I mentioned Arizona, 11 to 1. Who else are you looking at? Maybe a possible long shot in there as well. And be sure to check back this whole week. Wager Talk today, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday. I'll be guest hosting along with Teddy Covers. We'll be giving Super Bowl info on every show this week right here on Wager Talk TV. Best of luck. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you again soon. Enjoy the games this weekend.